Hey guys, Juice here. I am here with an exciting announcement video. Today I am so excited to announce that not just me, but me and my good friend Charlie, who I always mention here on my channel because I love talking to them. They are amazing. We earlier this year, I think it was on the 1st or it was on New Year's Eve, I was super bored, home alone. I went on live on Instagram and we decided to make a book club. Yay! We made a book club. So you can see by the stack of books behind me, we already picked out all the books for each of the month. There's 12 months in a year, obviously. You guys know that. Some people have already finished the January book of the month, which I'll go over the book of the month for each month later on in the video. Some people have either finished it already or some people have DNF it. I'm still reading it, but I'm taking my time with it because we won't have a live show for it till the end of the month. Also, the book that we picked for January is very popular and everyone else is reading it for January. My friend Charlie, who you guys know and love, I believe, is amazing. We came up with the book club. Our name is Queer Reads Book Club. Both Charlie and I are part of the LGBT community, and I'm so excited to do this book club and host it alongside Charlie, and it's just gonna be amazing. Sadly, some people haven't really enjoyed our first book of the year so far. So yeah, let's just jump into this. As you can tell, we got a new setup. I talked about this in my library haul, which was the video I made for today. This will be my Monday video, so hopefully you guys will join with us, and I am just gonna jump into it. There's a lot of books to talk about here today. Some of the books later on in the year are new releases, so you might have to read first books of their series, which I'll discuss while we're going along. I'm going to start off with the month of January, obviously, and you guys know me. I got my blue notebook here. I wrote down all the books already. You can't really see that because I wrote it in pencil for that reason. So for January, I'm going to set this down on the ground. For the month of January, we are starting out the year with These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is the book I've been talking nonstop about on my channel here. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in Shanghai 1926, and it sounds so amazing. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm not that far into it. I'm like on chapter 5. I've been kind of reading this slowly just because of how busy I was at work, and just because I'm working with kids and I have to hang out with them and like play with the kids and make sure they have fun and all that. So I can't really read much while I'm at work, but next week I'm gonna be in a different position, so hopefully I'll be able to get a good chunk of this read on my shift. I'm hoping to finish this by the end of the month because I don't know when we have our live show for this book club. But These Violent Delights is the January pick, and I'm so excited that we're starting off the year with a debut author and also a Romeo and Juliet retelling, which I haven't read a lot of those yet, but I'm really excited for. And yeah, that's all I know about this one. I'm enjoying it so far. It's definitely a little slow in the beginning just because the world building is like setting up everything and getting to know our two main characters. And there's no audiobook for this, which is one thing I hate, but there's no audiobook, but I am still enjoying it. I will be taking my sweet time with this one because book 2 probably won't come out till either end of this year or 2022 according to the author. So first book up for Queer Reads Book Club is These Violent Delights. Let's see if that fits. Yay! For the month of February, Charlie and I, well, mostly Charlie, he already planned out all his reading months. He wanted to read all of contemporary books in February since it is the month of love. And so our book of the month pick is our February book of the month pick is a contemporary novel. It's one I've been super excited to read ever since I saw it come out last year, I think, or this past year. Yeah, 2020, it came out in 2020. So I meant to read this last year, never did. And that is Verona Comics by Jennifer Dugan. This is the same author who wrote Hot Dog Girl, which came out in 2019. I really loved Hot Dog Girl. Here's the cover. I really loved Hot Dog Girl. That was a female fake friendship turned into like a love story type-esque novel. That's also another contemporary novel. She does have another contemporary novel coming out in May, and I'm so excited to read that one, even though I haven't read this one yet. This sounds interesting. It says, Junabe has it all together. She was an elite cellist, and when she's not working in her stepmom's indie comic shop, she's prepping for the biggest audition of her life. Ridley is barely holding it together. His parents own the biggest comic store chain in the country and really cannot stop disappointing them. That is, when they're even paying attention. They meet one fateful night at a comic convention prom, and the two can't help falling for each other. Too bad their parents are at each other's throat every chance they get, making a relationship between them nearly impossible unless they manage to keep it a secret. Then again, the feud between their families may be the least of their problems, as Ridley's anxieties spiral. Jubilee tries to help but find her focus torn between her fast approaching audition and their intensifying relationship. What if love can't conquer all? What if each of them needs more than the other can give? And I believe both of these characters are part of the LGBT community. I believe, what's his name? Ridley is bi, I believe, if I remember correctly. I just hear nothing but amazing things about this author in general, but also like this book in general. This was like an LGBT contemporary novel that I meant to read last year as well, so I'm happy I'm getting around to it this year in February. So this is the book of the month for February. We don't have a page breakdown for this yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to read 100 pages a day. There is a page breakdown for These Violent Delights. If you guys want that, I'll leave all the page breakdown down below. If we have page breakdowns for them. But yeah, Verona Comics by Jennifer Dugan is the February book. For March, we have one that I am very excited to read. I read this book, this whole series, back in my freshman year of high school, and I love this trilogy. I was so shocked that Charlie and anyone else who joined my live show haven't read this trilogy, despite how old this book series is. And that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. We are going to be reading / rereading it for me in the month of March. I'm so excited because like March is this new season. Also because this is our first book in a new series. It just fits perfectly. I know Charlie owns book 2 and 3 in these beautiful 10th anniversary edition. I'm going to try and get my hands on book 2 and 3 either this month or next month just to complete my collection. And I'm so excited to reread this. I talked about this in my December book haul. It says, once upon a time, an angel and the devil fell in love. It did not end well. Like I said, this series has been out for almost a decade now, which is crazy. I remember everyone, including Kat from Catty-tastic, raving about this series. I believe it was one of Kat's favorite series too. So like hearing that Charlie hasn't read this book yet, and I call them crazy because this has been on book 2 for like ever, as from what I can tell. I'm so excited to reread this, and hopefully I will love it as much as I think I did the first time. Now for the month of April, we are going to be reading a sequel. So if you want to read the first book with us, you should probably read the first book of that. And so we are going to be reading the book I don't have yet because it's not out till March, I think. But it's the sequel to King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. We are going to be reading Rule of Wolves by Leigh. Wow. Hold on. We're going to be reading Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, which is the sequel to King of Scars, obviously. Look how gorgeous this is. I'm so excited for Rules of Wolves. This is going to be the second and final book in this duology, I think. So you do technically need to read the Shadow and Bone trilogy and the Six of Crows duology before getting to this one. I hate for you guys to like miss out on the opportunities for like all the cameos that are in this one. I might be read this one because I read it last year and I gave it 4 stars and I really enjoyed it. But I remember reading it like super fast paced. But yeah, I'm so excited for this to be for Rule of Wolves to come out. I believe it comes out March 30th. If I'm wrong, I'll leave the correct release date down below. I'll put release date on the screen and down below as well. So just check the description whenever you can. But yeah, Rule of Wolves is a sequel, so I can't really talk much about this one. I don't really want to say much about this one either, since this is technically a spin-off series to two other of my favorite series of all time. But yeah, if you haven't read this yet, you should, because then you will be able to join us for our April pick, which is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. And then our May pick for our book club will be Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare, the second book in the Last Hour series. I still have not read this book, and I'm really, really mad because I've been waiting on my friend Taylor, and I might just finish Ghost of the Shadow Market without her and then pick this one up, because I still need to read this one before I read Chain of Iron. Chain of Iron also comes out in March, I believe March 3rd, if I remember correctly. But Chain of Iron is the sequel to Chain of Gold, obviously. This one, you only have to read the Infernal Devices series before reading this, so I would recommend doing that. I'm also gonna be reading Chain of Gold for the first time this year, so I might save this for reading it in March and then picking up our May book, or I might save this for May and just binge read the first two books in this trilogy. I'm so excited to read this. I've been excited for this. I believe this is on my 5-star prediction number 2. I'll leave that video down below if I remember correctly, that this is on my TBR. Hopefully I'll get around to it sometimes before May, because Chain of Iron comes out in March, but we're going to be reading it in May because there's not a lot of like new releases in May and June. So excited to read this and to read the sequel, which I don't have yet, obviously, but hopefully I'll get my hands on it pretty soon. For June is Pride Month, so we wanted to read a book that has LGBT characters in it. And so for June, we are reading Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. This is a Aiden Thomas debut novel that came out at the very end of last year, and I was very excited for it, and also Charlie was excited for it as well, hence why we picked this book as our book club. There's my hydro. I'm gonna need my hydro for a few minutes. Aiden Thomas is a debut author that this book came out, I believe, October or September. I remember hauling this in one of my book hauls, so I don't really know much about this, except I've been hearing nothing but like amazing things about this novel. It's very short too, so like I feel like we don't even need a page breakdown for this one, but people have suggested to do it. So I'm going to make a page breakdown for this, and again, I'll leave it down below in the description or leave it in the comment section. But yeah, real excited. This is LGBTQ novel. These two it's a male romance. I think it's set in space if I remember correctly. So really excited for this. Also, don't look too closely because you can see right there my dog decided to chew on my copy. We love that. So off topic, but this is the book pick for the month of June. For July, we have a book that I am very excited for. This is an adult sci-fi novel, first book in a 6-book series. We might read all 6 books in July. Well, there's only 5 books out right now, so we might read all 5 books in July in preparation for book 6, because book 6 is supposed to come out in 2021, but there's no like month yet for the release date. And so we are going to be reading Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is another oldie, but I hear it's a goodie series. This is definitely a sci-fi series, so definitely different from all of our normal genres. And this is our only, like I said, our only adult novel on, well, our second adult novel on our list. So I'm real excited for this. I don't know much about this. I just know if you love Hunger Games, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, I know you guys will like this. I've been hearing nothing but amazing things about this book as well, and I did recently haul this in my December book haul, I believe. So yay, can't wait. We are waiting till July because we're thinking, Charlie and I was thinking it would come out in July because that's when the 5th and 4th book came out in their previous years. So this is a book pick for July. I'm only like 15 minutes into this video and it's now just getting halfway through the year. In the month of August, we will be reading a sequel. The book pick for August will be Devil in the Device by Laura Beth Johnson, which is the sequel to Goddess in the Machine by Laura Beth Johnson, obviously. I love this cover. This is such a pretty cover and these foil edges. I believe I got this in my July Owl Crate box of last year, but I never unboxed it for you guys. Sorry about that. I did read Goddess in the Machine, and so did Charlie, and we both loved this book, so we thought it would be fun to buddy read not only us two together, but see what people will think of the series, because it's very like underhyped right now on BookTube. I feel like this is a sci-fi series set in space, so another sci-fi novel that we will be reading for 2021. Goddess in the Machine is like very hard to explain it. It's the year 3102. Everyone keeps calling her Goddess. Andrea went into a chronic sleep, and she takes a trip across space, and she expected to wake up in 100 years, not 1,000. Worst of all, the rest of the colonists, including her family and friends, are dead. That's the like brief summary for Goddess in the Machine. I am really enjoyed this. I definitely want to maybe reread this in the month of August and then jump on to the sequel, because the cover for the sequel is amazing. So this is a book of the month pick for August. I'm picking up my notebook right now, so sorry. Devil in the Device, the sequel to Goddess in the Machine, is the book of the month pick for August. I almost forgot what month I was on. I'm gonna take a quick water break. For the month of September, we have a third and final book to our trilogy. I'm so excited for this trilogy. I actually just read book 1 and 2 last year, and they were both 5-star reads. They were both on my favorite list of the year. So if you saw that video, you might already guess. But in September, we are going to be reading Gods and Monsters by Shelby Mahern, which is the third book to the Serpent and Dove trilogy. The first book being Serpent and Dove, the sequel being Gods and Blood and Honeys, and then the third book being Gods and Monsters, which doesn't come out till August 3rd of this year, so we decided to wait for like September, because there were some new releases that Charlie and I was excited for, but we thought having a finale to a series would be perfect for a book club. I'm so excited. I love these first 2 books. They were super fast fantasy novels dealing with witches, werewolf, magic, blood magic, snakes, doves, witch hunt. That's all you need to know. Amazing trilogy so far. I buddy read the first book with my friend Libby, and I also buddy read the second book with her. So I'll leave Libby's channel down below. You guys should definitely go check her out. And we'll be reading Gods and Monsters in September, and I'm so excited because this is a series that I put on my series list that I want to complete in 2021, which will be my next video that I will be filming for you guys soon, so look forward to that. But yeah, Gods and Monsters would be my August pick. For my September pick. For our October pick, I do not own this book yet, but that is Empire of the Vampire by Mr. J. Kristoff. I've only read a few books by Mr. J. Kristoff. I read his Illuminate trilogy, his Aurora Rising trilogy, and Lifelike by him. I still need to read the rest of the Lifelike trilogy by him, and I do need to start Nevernight by him. I own that whole trilogy now, so I just need to get started. But Empire of the Vampire is another adult fantasy novel that is very gruesome. He said it's more gruesome than Nevernight was, and I haven't even read Nevernight, so I'm kind of nervous for this one, but Charlie was super excited for this, so this was one of the book picks that Charlie wanted to read, so I was like, yes, you helped me create a book club tonight. So for October, if I can speak, is Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. And then for November, we have 2 options. One of them was my pick, One of them was Charlie's picked, and we both loved this series. We didn't really realize one of them was going to be a series until I was looking at the new releases on the Goodreads list. And so we have 2 books that we're going to be reading. You do need to read the first books in these series because the Book of the Month picks for November are sequels to the series, obviously. And so we will be reading Here's to Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Severa, which is going to be the sequel to What If It's Us, which I have right here in my hand. I love this book. I read it last year, or I read it in 2019. I can't remember exactly what year it was because all the years are just blending together. But I read this during my freshman year in college, and I was just like, relatable. And I was flipping the pages throughout the whole week. I read it during one of my college exams, which is kind of bad for me to admit right now. But I really enjoyed this first book. I devoured it in like a couple of days, and I'm so excited to read this. I miss these characters, and I'm also excited to jump into the sequel in the month of November. So in November, I will be reading this book and then jumping into the sequel, which is called Here to Us. I believe Here to Us is either out in November or it comes out in October. Again, I will leave the release date down below or on the screen, depending which one I'm in the mood for. But yeah, you can choose to read Here to Us with us in November, or you can choose to read the sequel to Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. I read this recently. I read this in November, and I give this 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was such a good hate enemies to lovers telling, and dealing with not vampires, but like witches, and says 2 sisters, 1 brutal murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and an interesting romance. I still don't know how to say that word properly. This was a really great follow-up series from the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, which I love the most from Kerri, but I really enjoyed this one too. I'm so excited for book 2 to come out. I believe book 2 is called Kingdom of the Cursed, and that's coming out later in the year. Again, release date will be down below. But yeah, that would be the book pick. You can either read a fantasy novel with us in November, or you can read a contemporary novel with us in November. But you definitely need to read book 1 in each of these series. And then last but not least, in the month of December, we will be reading the sequel to, drumroll please, Crescent City, also known as House and Earth of Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the other adult fantasy novel that I was talking about. So technically we have 3 adult novels and the rest are young adult novels, which I'm really excited to diverse our reads. As you can see, I started Crescent City last year, but I just never finished it. I actually wonder how far I am. Chapter 6, page 70 is what I got to last year. I don't know what the title will be for book 2 because it's not going to be out till December, so that's why we picked it for the month of December. So I might read this early, or I might just wait till December and reread it, restart from the beginning, and then read it for the first time. I'm so excited. This is one of my most hyped books that I wanted to read in 2020 but never did. So we'll be reading for the month of December the sequel to this, and I'm so excited. I'm sad that we would have to wait a whole year for this book to come, for the sequel of this book to come out. But yeah, that is the last book we will be reading in the year 2021. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're super excited, let me know down below. Please give me a big thumbs up as it helps me out. Hit that subscribe button, turn your notification on so you don't miss any new videos coming from me soon. I think that's it. Make sure you guys read the first books of these series if they are sequels, aka for later in the year. And I am so excited to be hosting this book club. I hope you join me for this. And thank you guys so much for watching, and look out for queer reads coming to you now. I'll leave Charlie's Instagram down below. Also, if you want to join our book club, I'll leave the Instagram account down below. I'll also leave my personal Instagram down below. I also have a group chat for crew reads, so I'm not sure how many members can be in a group chat on Instagram. But if you want to be added into that group chat and you haven't yet, let me know down below in the comments. Also, let me know what you're excited for us to read and discuss, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day or night, and I'll chat with you guys down in the comments below. Bye.